Aggie Baseball. They were in Gainesville taking on the Gators. Number 8 in the country against number 12, number 7 against number 21. I saw a lot of different numbers. Don't matter. Friday night, Shane Sadeo wasn't good. Aiden King, maybe the SEC pitcher of the year. He gives up the 2-run shot to Grahovic in the top of the third, and I think it made him mad because that was it. He was done. He really did not give up much after that, if anything at all. And he pitched like a Friday night ace. 8 innings, 2 runs, did not walk a batter, struck out 6. Gators take the Friday night game 9-2. 9-2. And it wasn't as bad as the score, but yet Gators won going away. They put up a 4 spot in the bottom of the 8th to take a game they were controlling easily and turned it into a full-on blowout. Again, the storyline, Sadeo wasn't good. 8 hits and 3 2/3. I think he was kind of lucky to only give up 3. Bullpen was bad. Kind of interesting how Juan Vargas early, non-con, looked like he could be a key weekend guy and just hasn't worked out. Ethan Darden, who keeps an inning at a time, this time a third of an inning, getting things done. When it got away late, it looked like Michael Early was giving some other arms a chance just to see what they could do. So Saturday, A&M has their best pitcher on the entire team go, Aiden Sims, and he gives you another outstanding start going 5-2. Lions at the pen, doesn't quite have it going. Ethan Darden, another scoreless appearance. Clayton Freshcorn, not scoreless, but he ends up taking care of business. But Saturday is a simple formula. A&M's offense seems to love Saturday, and Aiden Sims is the best pitcher. And it's simple. That's your 8-4 dub. Aggies even the series. Aggie offense plays home run derby with 4 shots. Grahovic is 14th. Partita is 12th. Jorian Wilson was the MVP of the weekend, and I don't think it was close. And he hit his 10th. Bear hit his 7th. And Aggies even the series. Straightforward. Best pitcher. Offense loves Saturdays. 8-4. Sunday's the rubber game. And Sunday, it was the kind of the... Jorian Wilson goes yard as 11th. Bear goes yard as 8th. That makes back-to-back days for both Jorian and Bear. And when I say Jorian was the MVP, Florida's threatening in the bottom of the 8th. They got 2nd and 3rd, like with an out. And they just hit a ball that hit off the top of the fence. And if I saw it right, and I watched the game, I think when the outfielder went up, he made contact with the fence, which made the top of the fence actually kind of being wobbly when the ball hit it. So the fence top rubber was not flat. If it was flat, that would have been a 2-run home run because physics say it would have hit it and then bounced over. But because the fence was wobbly, it hit it and bounced back in play. So it was just a double. So the Gators already, it should have been a 2-run home run. No dice. Next batter lifts the ball to right field. He's swinging late. Wilson catches it, and it's a sac fly. 999 times out of 1,000, it's a sac fly. And Wilson guns him, hoses him down at the plate. And I mean, he was out easy. This wasn't bang, bang. And if you want to talk about crushing the soul and will of a team, have your 2-run home run bounce the wrong way, fluky as heck. Have the easy walk to home sac fly get hosed down. ESPN da-da-da, da-da-da. Then there's more. But Jorian Wilson, so he's got 2 home runs and you're, one each in the dub. And then he hoses the guy out to kill all hope for the Florida O. And then top of the 9th, Bear gets up, gone, leadoff batter. So it's just piling on Florida at that point. I think their soul was ripped out by the Wilson throw, and then Bears just like, let me make sure. Ags win 5-1. Ags win the Sunday game. Aggies win the series. It's their 5th straight SEC series. And there were so many things on display over the course of the Gator series that good to great. I don't even want to say good because great teams? Is it okay? Can we use that word? People aren't going to flinch. People aren't going to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. They did things that great teams do. They lost the Friday series and still were able to take the series in SEC weekend play. That's kind of what great teams do. They were on the road in SEC play, lost the Friday game, and were still able to take the series. They were on the road in SEC play against a top 25 team and lost the Friday game and took the series. That's kind of what great teams do. Caden Sorrell, arguably the best player on the team. He's the leader of the team. Maybe it's become Gavin Grahovic. We could have a great debate about that. Maybe it's all the above, but Caden Sorrell had 1 hit on the weekend. If you tell me that before they go to Gainesville, I think I would have picked the Gators to win the series. I don't think him batting in the 2-hole, the vital part of the offense he is, I don't think A&M can go out to a top 20 SEC team and win if Caden Sorrell has 1 hit. But that's what happened. Caden Sorrell had 1 hit on the weekend. It was in the Sunday game. And, so Caden Sorrell has 1 hit on the entire weekend, and the Aggies lose the Friday game on the road against a top 25 SEC team, and they win the series. Now, put all that together in a sentence, and that's what great teams do. I looked this morning. The Aggies are number 5 in the RPI. So with 3 weekends left in SEC play, 11 games total, A&M is comfortably in position to host a Super. That's where they are. 3 weekends left in SEC, 2 non-cons. They are comfortable. Now, 3 still brutal weekends left. There's no cakewalk. There's no weekend to circle and go, well, that's the dub weekend. They can lose all 3. It's just the nature of how tough it is. You know, they've got Auburn, who's 6 in the RPI. They got Ole Miss, who's 11 in the RPI, and Mississippi State's 15. All 3 teams they have left are currently, if the tournament started today, hosting at the opening of the NCAA tournament. But A&M is 5 now. It's rather remarkable. And again, I can look specifically at this weekend, and it should not happen what happened. Your best, one of your top 2 players had 1 hit. You lost the Friday night game. You're on the road against a top 25 team. Very straightforward. That's how good this team is. It's how deep this offense is. They had the TBA on Sunday, and Weston Moss gave you more than you could hope for the okay. Gavin Lyons with another clutch, because on Sunday, and I kind of talked about what Sunday should be. It's Moss and Lyons, and I was thinking maybe Cunningham, and then if there's anything left, Freshcorn. But between 3 guys, you need 7 innings. They got 9 from 3. And that's why Lyons, the appearance Sunday, was so key. He needs 2 or 3. And yeah, scoreless is preferable, but I think if all 3 give you 3 and 1, 7 from them and 3 total, you should win every Sunday. And they gave you 9 and 0. Moss was huge. Something I'm starting to think about, because, I've been highly critical of the A&M pitching staff, and it's a fair criticism. I don't think I've been unfair even to the slightest degree, but past 2 weekends combined, they've been better than just okay. That's excellent Sunday. Aiden Sims just keeps being Aiden Sims. I don't know what is he, the freshman of the year, newcomer of the year? He's got to be somewhere on the all-SEC pitching rotation. That's how good he's been. Fresh corn, guaranteed. So I don't know. They're not just the we don't suck. They're not just the fine. They're leveling up with 3 weekends left to continue to grow. And when you get into the weekend NCAA regional supers, you shorten up anyway. Things are getting scary. They're getting serious. Again, they're 5 in the RPI. They're safely, with 3 to go, 3 brutal weekends left to go. If anybody, else has a thought or two, is it okay to use the word great when we talk about this team, or do you find yourself, eye starts to twitch? Is it okay to talk about Omaha with this team? Again, 3 weekends left, 3 weeks, 11 regular season games. They have Tarleton State Tuesday night, Bluebell Olson, hosting Auburn over the weekend. Prairie View A&M a week from Tuesday wraps up the non-con. They're off to Oxford. And then May 14th, 15th, 16th, that's a Thursday through, Mississippi State will end the regular season. Nothing short to me, and not miracle as in turning Gatorade to wine, but considering last year, the negativity and skepticism in the offseason, nothing short of miraculous. When we return, some more Diamond Sports. Your text messages. We're just getting started. It is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. It is the Louie Bellina Show, the Monday edition on the Zone.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Our blood, our sweat, their tears.
It's time. Here we go.
Let's go. The Louie Bellina Show just getting started on a Monday. Still to come, we're going to talk a lot of NFL draft throughout our time together, whether it's the A&M perspective, the SEC, Cowboys, Texans, and more. But we'll do that throughout our time together. Astros, Rangers, of course. Stars, back-to-back overtime games, and we're tied. All of a sudden, the Wild and the Stars are best of 3. 2 on home ice, Stars ice, but still now it's a best of 3. Playoff hockey, NHL, Stars hockey. It's emotional. That's all. At 12 o'clock, Mitch Light of The Athletic on the D4 Land Services hotline. We're just getting started on a Monday. Aggie Baseball, they're only a half game back of Georgia for the SEC title. I have nothing against winning conference titles. It looks good, put it up on the wall, but the tough part is, other than football, it's really hard to remember who won conference titles. You maybe when you go to the game and you see the trophy outside or when you first walk in, or the banner or the sign on the outfield wall or things. But we live in a world that's very postseason oriented, because it means more to win one game in the NCAA tournament to advance out of a regional in baseball than a conference championship. I think it's insane, because you spend 3 months grinding to win a conference championship. But yet one win in the NCAA tournament, winning one weekend to go from a regional to a super, is exponentially more memorable / important than winning over 3 months. I hate that system. I think it's flawed. Football, and especially once we expand to 24 teams in the college football playoff, all football will be now for 3 months of the regular season is seeding. They're going to get away. When we go to 24, there'll be no more conference championship games even. We're finally going to quit pretending with those. It's so weird how we spend 3 months positioning for one weekend, and it's the opening weekend of NCAA tournaments. But that was a rant. I apologize. I was digressing, but I do that all the time. So the Aggies are a half game back of Georgia. with 9 games left in SEC play. And Richard Zane, Texas Aggie Baseball, dude rocks, does a great job. Good stuff, funny too. Detailed, just made it easy to look at who everybody has left. And I can tell you the Aggies easily have the toughest 9 games left of the 3 teams trying to win the SEC championship, because Georgia has Mizzou. Woo! I mean, look, A&M got Mizzou. They swept them. So everybody playing, But Georgia has Missouri left. Texas has Missouri left. A&M does not. Georgia has LSU. LSU got swept again over the weekend by Mississippi State. So Georgia has the 2 worst teams in the SEC left, and then Auburn. So Georgia has a half-game lead. Really, hey, they did their time. They already played their tough games. So, But Georgia has an easy path to the SEC regular season title. With Missouri and LSU, both at home. And then they finish at Auburn. Now, Texas, who's in contention, has Mississippi State, at Tennessee, and they finish at home Missouri. They've got the mid. That's not easy. It's not the hardest, but that's not hard. A&M, already documented, have 2 teams in the top 10, and then Mississippi State's currently 13. They face 3 teams that would be hosting if it was the opening round of the NCAA tournament. So Georgia, they got a lot of wins left. Texas mid, A&M easily has the most brutal left of the 9, the toughest by a mile. And again, I don't say don't go win conference championships. If they're going to hand you a trophy and you get to put up a banner, go for it. But they're not very memorable. So that's just one of those things. Oh, yeah. We're going to stay on the diamond. We'll go to softball for a moment. Aggie softball was in South Carolina, and it was a great weekend, but Aggie softball did not win the weekend. But if you like watching tense, the scores over the weekend were 3-1, 2-1, 2-1. Runs were at a premium. It was a highly unusual weekend. Aggie softball's offense has been their calling card. It's been one of the top in the country / SEC. The SEC is the country. But they never showed up over the weekend. Had opportunity. They lost yesterday to lose the series. They lost 2-1. They had the bases loaded in the first and second inning and could not capitalize. And they lost 2-1. They lost the game yesterday on a walk-off error. And it was like a bunt, runner at first, bottom of the 7th, bunt, pitcher picks it up and throws the ball to first, but hits the runner going down. Ball rattles around, runner comes around to score, and South Carolina wins on a walk-off walk. I mean, because of the scores, 3-1, 2-1, 2-1, every inning, every base runner, it was tense, man. South Carolina had scored every run in the series till the walk-off walk on a home run. And mind you, they only scored 2, 1, and 2, so they didn't score a lot. But the only runs they scored in the series till the walk-off walk were on home runs. Insane series. I watched this series, and it's the worst officiating I've seen in a series. Maybe in an individual game somewhere, maybe ever. And here's the why. It's the strangest why. The replay booth was on crack. And there were five calls were overturned Sunday. And the replay booth has a mandate. We all know from our football time, right? And it's no different, by the way, in softball and baseball, that it has to be clear and obvious. As the replay booth, you can't go, yeah, I think so. You can't go close enough. It's got to be obvious. That's their job. And in this softball game, I don't know what the replay booth was doing. They went, I think, I feel. Yeah, probably. It was awful. I mean, everybody got screwed. It was horrible. In the Saturday game, no, was it Saturday? It was so bad it's blurring. But in this series, there's like 5 calls, 6 calls overturned. And it makes the officials on the field look incompetent when it's the booth that was to blame. I would argue that of the 5 or 6, 3 were totally on the booth minimum. Yeah, at least. So bad. So bad. The umpires on the field had issues with their strike zone. A strike's supposed to be a strike. It's not what you think a strike is. It's not supposed to be an interpretive dance. ABS is starting to make the world realize that. I hope it trickles down eventually. So, in the end, it was fun to watch. It was not just another weekend of Aggie softball. And I guess if you're an Aggie, no, it wasn't because they lost the series. But watching games this close, this tense, watching every run but one be scored on a home run, watching officiating this freaking bad. Holy cow. Because South Carolina is 24, I don't think A&M hurt their chance to host. I don't think they will super regional host. I think they'll first round host. I think they're going to hang around, exist in that 13, 14, 15, but actually have head-to-heads with everyone else around them. So now this weekend, price of poker goes up. OU, who oddly, they're easily the number 1 team in the country, but their RPI, because I think they padded their non-con, which they didn't have to, but whatever. They're OU. Their RPI, I think, they wasn't updated as of this morning on softball RPIs, but I think they might be 5.6. They have, I'm trying to be careful with this. I'm just going to say the greatest offense I've ever seen. I've been following Aggie softball since, mid-late 80s in there. And again, worked with Aggie softball, calling games, PA in the booth for 28, 29 years. Watch college softball across the country, not just A&M. They have the greatest offense I've ever seen. They've got a freshman who has shattered every record ever created. She shattered some, barely crossed the midseason mark. And they're coming to Davis Diamond this weekend to wrap up the regular season. A&M needs to rediscover their offense, and quick. And I mean real quick. So, I watched a lot of Diamond sports this weekend. And the softball, the intensity of it, because, again, the A&M pitching staff, softball, had been good with 0 amounts of special this year. And that's why they've had to throw 3. Last 2 weekends, they've looked pretty good. The quality of offense they faced went down, but that's one of those keys where you have to give credit where it's due. Even if the quality of offense they faced went down, you still have to do it. And they've gotten it done. They had to get it done. And they did. So they've done really well. And sometimes you just need confidence. Sometimes you need to face a weaker offense and prove you can still do it, and then you build from there. And the last 2 weekends, the A&M pitching staff's gotten it done. I know the Sunday Mississippi State was pretty brutal, but, using part of your pitching staff that you would not throw in the postseason, sometimes that happens. Brutal weekend, but no, I think they're still safely. But if you're a fan of the game, fascinating weekend. And some of it's for completely worse reasons. And it was the officiating, the replay booth of this weekend. Aggie softball. Home, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Oklahoma. And if you're any kind of softball fan, this number 1 Oklahoma team might be the greatest offense ever. Like, it's worth the price of admission to watch them play. And you'll hear every one of those A&M OU softball games, Willie 1550 AM and RadioAgland.com. When we return, we'll stay maroon and white. I think it's time to NFL draft the A&M edition. and it was a celebration of an A&M football draft. I'll be back. It's the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. That's CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show Monday on The Zone.
The Money Machine is open now. Two ways to enter each week.
Oh, come on. Don't keep us in suspense.
Zone1150.com and the Zone newsletter.
Thank you.
The Louie Bellina Show. Do not forget, 12 o'clock, Mitch Light of The Athletic on the D4 Land Services hotline, the college baseball roundup. The Louie Bellina Show. I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio. Our first hour together, pretty much Monday through Friday. I make no guarantees because sometimes I forget what day of the week it is. But pretty much Monday through Friday, it's the Maroon and White Notebook, the Maroon and White Report. It is all things Aggie athletics. Let's discuss and catch up. And the NFL draft turned into a Mike Elko business card, a Mike Elko advertisement, Aggie football, that's who we are now kind of moment. One Aggie, Casey Concepcion, went in the first round. And Friday we were sitting around hanging out, you and I was saying expect A&M to be busy Friday night. And to be fair, even I did not predict 6. Even I did not have 6 Aggies in the second and third round. And that's what happened. 10 went in the end, a modern draft record. Modern draft means when they went to 7, because like the draft used to be 17 rounds and there's been many different numbers. But in the modern draft, 7 rounds, most ever 10. Aggies had 6 taken on day 2. Day 2 is the second and third round. Chase Basantis, was he the second player out? You knew that. Cassius Howe, Tyler Onyedem. Now, Trey Zune could, but he could have been a 4th round. Nope, he went. Albert Regis could have been 4th. No, he went. Nate Borketcher, he was the one that was a bit of a surprise. But when I saw this, the 6 total, it really spoke to, they all tested well, and you hear that players test well all the time. It's not a revelation, but if you put together all the separate pieces that I kept hearing, it really is a testament to how great the A&M development, how great the training, all of it really was. And then you had people talking about, and I keep going to Tony Catalina, and he talks to the NFL scouts, right? And every player, whether he was talking about Tyler Onyedem, but all the scouts were valuing higher than the non-scouts, i.e. your ESPN, CBS, and NBC, and Paramount, and Netflix, just all the different draft analysts. The scouts themselves kind of had every Aggie, not first and second, those are easy calls, but higher. So these guys that were projected by 4, by your favorite draft expert, they went 3 and 2. They all went higher by the actual NFL personnel people who, except for certain organizations, actually recognize talent. And that's how you went from about 4 Aggies on rounds 2 and 3 to 6. I said prepare to be busy if you're an Aggie fan. And it wasn't just busy. I don't know about you, but I get fired up. I get proud. It validates so many things. And to me, it speaks to development. It's not just identifying, bring them in, but development. Adam Cushing needs a raise. Later on in the draft, Crownover got drafted. Armaj Reed Adams got drafted too. So all 4 went in the draft. Development. It's not just development. Through the first 3 rounds of the draft, 7 Aggies got taken. And that was the second most. Ohio State, in case you didn't know, ruled the NFL draft. They had the most through 3 rounds. They had the most of it. They had 11 to A&M's 10. A&M was the number 2 king of the draft behind Ohio State. And that's the advertisement. Because modern recruiting is what? Pay me. And then you can start falling back in, and we'll send you to the league. But it's paid first. Nothing trumps the paycheck. But A&M, Texas A&M, there's no angle they can't give a recruit. They got the facilities. They could send you to the league now. Oh, yeah, they win 11 games. And A&M, to the best that I've known and I'm going to use that modern era tag, doesn't hurt for money. They'll pay you. Like, there's no, there's no reason, there's no excuses to not win at Texas A&M anymore. Give me a reason why A&M football should not win. And I do mean a minimum of 10 games. And when the college football playoff at 12, a 10-win SEC team, unless you're Vanderbilt, should always go in. When they go to 24, 10 wins is what maybe get you a bye in the new format. Again, A&M, we put players in the league. Check. We win games. Check. We pay. Check. And the one thing about Elko and his staff, right, that makes them sneaky dangerous, and it comes to pay. They can pay the players they want. They don't have to go out and buy the players that are 1, 2, 3 at the top of every list at every position. So you can get more bang for your buck and more players for your buck if you're Aggie football staff. Because I think one of the things they do in the portal, and why they hit so hard on the portal, is they're not trying to get, well, give me the portal list, go get these guys. See 1, 2, 3 at each, that's who we're taking. They're getting guys, and that's why their development is so insane. They're getting guys that fit their position for what they do. That's different than just getting the best available. They're not doing like the NFL draft and just taking guys off their list. They're getting the guys they've identified. They're the best at what they require, the best at what they want to do. And that's a different way of doing things. So they can develop the heck out of them, and these players can be all they can be within the system they're being asked to do. I think that's why their hit rate is so high and their development rate is so high. Just insane draft for Texas A&M. I'm not kidding when I say that either. It just made me pretty fired up. Those 7 Aggies through round 3. Already said Concepcion was round 1. Basantis round 2. Howell round 2. Nate Borkacher round 2. That was the one that was like, this just got real. Tyler Onyedem round 3. Albert Regis round 3. And Trey Zune was in round 3 also. 10 total, as I said. Again, the only Alabama tied them at 10. Ohio State was at 11. One thing, not drafted, Torian York, who could have been round 7, ended up going Broncos. And then you had Le'Veon Moss. He signed undrafted. He could have been the 11th also. I think somebody got to steal the draft by getting to sign Le'Veon Moss as an undrafted free agent. That was the steal of the draft, was getting him undrafted. He has health. He is an NFL running back. He has health. Got injured back-to-back years. He has health, could be the most valid question, which is why he didn't get drafted. But a healthy Le'Veon Moss is 100% an NFL running back. Wish both of them nothing but the best in the universe. Why? Because they both gave everything they had every second they were on the field for Texas A&M. I root for those guys. Some miscellaneous things I picked up involving Aggies. The Athletic ranked every NFL 1 to 32. But they also did their favorite picks and least favorite and best of each round. Cincinnati Bengals, their favorite pick, Cassius Howell, Texas A&M. Denver Broncos, you know what their favorite pick was? Tyler Onyedem. Aggies got a lot of play. ESPN, they asked Miller and Reed, their draft, a million questions. And of the record-tying 17 wideouts drafted in the first 3 rounds, how many will have at least one 1,000 yard in the next 5 seasons? For Reed, Casey Concepcion. Who has the best value pick in round 2? According to Miller, edge rusher Cassius Howell. Because I look at the whole NFL draft. I love it all. And you just keep seeing A&M names pop up for the best value, the best of this round, over and over. The insider types really love the A&M players. They love what they saw on the tape. They love the way they measured. And again, they all probably went a round up from where the draft experts, because, we shared the mocks. I love playing with them and the 7 rounds, and a lot of the 4s all went 3. Didn't get all the first rounders you want, but that's okay. It was an incredible draft for Texas A&M. Nothing but celebration. Here was a one walk-away thought. Seriously. If A&M has a year where they have 7 players in the first 3 rounds, because I focus on the high end more than depth, because you win with high end. And rounds 1, 2, 3 are all players that should be starting or kind of rotating in on a 2-deep concept, right? And A&M had 7. 10 shows the depth, but 7 in the first 3 rounds. And in the end, you didn't win anything. You didn't even play in the SEC championship game football. So you did not make the conference championship. You did make your first ever college football playoff, which is an incredible accomplishment. And, you beat a top 5 team on the road for the first time since they started wearing face masks. I mean, there were accomplishments, but you did not even make the SEC title game. You did not beat Texas. You did not even win the college football playoff game, and you're at home with that much talent. You the only banner you're going to get to hang is participation. And that realization, and by the way, if you're wondering, I had that yesterday because I had the draft wrapped up Sunday and I started thinking about all these things. So I haven't had time to digest this yet and chew on this. And what does that mean? Is that disconcerting? How could you? All that talent is how you won 11 games. Hey, how did they have a breakout in year 2? Well, overwhelming talent. 10 NFL picks. 7 should be starting. Definitely playing many snaps next year. 7. That's how you won 11 games. But with all of that, all you get is a participation banner you're going to put somewhere and read and in the media guide. Should that concern me? Or I don't, concern might be too strong a word, but what does it mean? That's what got stuck in my head. When we return, I got to wrap up our first hour together. When we return, it will be the high school sports update at 11:55, and that is thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. This is the Louie Bellina Show. I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio, and if you're thinking about your financial now and your financial future, Mark Sim is right here in College Station. You're like, Mark who? Mark Sim. He is the Charles Schwab branch right here in College Station, and he's local. He eats here, sleeps here, goes to the games here. And local means you get to sit down, shake a hand, look them in the eye, and if we're talking about our financial now and our financial future, you and your family, your kids, that's kind of how I'd like to do business, not on hold and one of 1 million and no. Go to schwab.com/College Station. Get answers to your questions. Learn more at schwab.com/College Station.
Your home for Aggie Baseball is the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
It is the Louie Bellina Show. First hour almost, but not quite done. Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, where they do free estimates and they have military and veteran discounts at CC Electric. And this is Torbush Wow category, but I figure I'd leave you with Florida man does good. I know. We're flipping the script here, but Florida man does good. And it's sports. Ooh. But there was a Florida man who did a $30 bet on a 6-leg parlay. And this was, he should have took the $30 and just lit it on fire, or took the $30 and gave it to me. He bet on 6 players to hit home runs in their games. So in order to get the payout, all 6 players, each one of them had to hit a home run. He bet on Riley Green of the Detroit Tigers, Kobe Mayo of the Red Sox, Jesus Sanchez, Bryce Harper, Nick Kurtz, and Jazz Chisholm Jr. And it's pretty simple. Maybe you don't know what a parlay is. He had to get every one of those right. And because it's so ridiculous and absurd, you get these really high payouts and odds. And 3 parlay, 6 parlay, 9 parlay, and the odds go up. So he bet all 6 players would hit a homer, a six-leg Major League Baseball parlay. It hit. So how much? I'll give you a second to guess along here. How much do you think a $30 bet on a 6-leg, 6 players have to homer parlay hits? He won almost $2 million. Yep. He won almost $2 million. I mean, yeah, Florida man does good. Florida man has lightning strike. Florida man almost walks on water. It's absolutely amazing. That's all. There you go. The end. $30 bet, 6-leg, 6 players, all had to go yard, and they did. Netted Florida man almost $2 million. I spent this weekend a lot of time with friends. Alan Ward of Brigadoon Brewery came into town, and we got to do a long, more talking than dinner. We ate great, and we got to catch up, and that was fantastic. It's always, anytime I actually get to see him and hang out with him is pretty awesome. But I was talking to another friend this weekend. I miss gambling. It's been a while. I miss playing poker. I miss sitting at a blackjack table. I don't miss sportsbook betting because the first year I did it, I was so bad, and I get angry when I'm bad at something. So I worked for a year to figure out how to sportsbook betting, but it's so much work to do it where it's not just fun and games that it was no longer fun, so I stopped. That was a bad story. Mitch Light of The Athletic up next. This is the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio, Monday edition.